Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's Biscuitboo Horror Reviews. I'm here. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'm here with another one of these uh, horror and exploitation film collection videos. Just gonna go through everything. I like doing these videos. I haven't done one of these in like 2 years. I like doing them just because they're kind of relaxing. It just gives me a chance just to kind of chill out and talk about some stuff. I even got my studio lights set up so that way the lighting won't be too bad, hopefully, because I know that sometimes the lighting is an issue when I do these kinds of videos. So, let me just get it started with this top shelf up here. This top shelf is mainly where I keep like my non-horror stuff. That is like stuff I actually want to like keep on hand, which there's nothing like crazy in there, you know, like as you can see, you know, you got like Seven Samurai right there. You got like the complete series of Cowboy Bebop, you know, El Topo, Holy Mountain, Come and See, Yojimbo, you know, Mallrats, Fear and Loathing, Eating Raoul, Planet of the Apes, The Elephant Man, Love Exposure, you know, just kind of random stuff up there. Then you got this, which is a really big piece in my collection. I love this, love this release. This is the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast box set from Arrow. This is out of print, going for crazy prices now. I know there's a standard edition release, but the standard edition release is perfectly fine. I do recommend picking that one up. This one is just really great because it's literally a fucking, like, I'm gonna get it down here. As you can see, I have the cardboard like ring that came around it when it arrived in the mail. But as you can see here, it's literally like a box of cereal, which is just the fucking greatest thing ever. Like, I really love this, and you know, it's a great piece to have in the collection, honestly. I'm so happy I have this, even if I do think that the set is a little lacking. The whole reason to get this version of the set, honestly, is just for the packaging, because the packaging is fucking insane on it. But, like, other than that, it's not really worth it. It only comes with, like, 14 movies, which, don't get me wrong, these 14 movies are all fine, but, like, there could be some different titles on there. You know, they kind of missed some opportunities to put some really interesting stuff on there. There's some features and everything which are kind of cool, but like for the most part, this is a very okay set. It's just the artwork and everything really fucking like brings it all together. Ah, there we go. Yeah, get that full zoom out. Get that. There we go. Yeah, I think this will work a lot better. But still, fucking Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast set. Very big part of the collection, hence why it is on the shelf with the no. Okay. We almost had a bit of a problem there. Which is why it's on the shelf with the fucking expensive Blu-ray sets, as well as a few other knickknacks that I forgot to take off the shelf because I wanted to fucking like have this shelf not have like anything, not have a bunch of shit stacked on it. But obviously I forgot about that, so I guess that's on me. But, yeah, this is the shelf where I keep the expensive, limited edition, out-of-print stuff. You know, all the way down at the end here, you have, like, the big box of Splatter Farm, which is really great. Polonia Brothers flick. You got the big box release of The Basement, which is really great. I kind of wish this came with like a regular VHS slip inside of it, instead of it just being the actual, you know, the box for the VHS itself. Because Splatter Farm came with the VHS, but it's like actually, it's right there can see it right there. It's right next to Evil Dead and Rocky Horror Picture Show and Nosferatu. It's right there, sealed. So you can see it there. But you know, we got some stuff in here like the first two American Horror Project box sets. I really hope they do a third one because I really liked both of these. I think I like the first one more. The second one is really solid though. The Child is like really great. The other ones in this set aren't really anything amazing. Dark August is kind of okay. It's got some cool moments, and Dream No Evil is all right as well. But the Child was a real standout on this one, and on the first set, Malatesta's Carnival of Blood was a very big standout. We've got like the Female Prisoner Scorpion box set, which is really nice. It's a little dusty. I gotta dust these things off every once in a while. I'm not gonna go through all of these just because it's kind of a pain in the ass to have to go through all of them. But you know, I got like the Stray Cat Rock one, the set, you know, Last Us on the Left, Both of the Hills Have Eyes from Arrow, which the first one I have autographed by Michael Berryman and Dee Wallace, which is really cool. We got like Society, which this is a really great one. We've got like the only box set I have from, well, the only like, you know, big box set like this that I have from Vinegar Syndrome, which is the Amityville Cursed collection, which is a really nice little set of Amityville like 4, I think technically it's Amityville 4, 6, 7, and 8. I'm pretty sure it's a really nice little set. It's got all the essentials on it. I was so happy that I bought this set because I blind bought this because I was like always really interested in seeing the later Amityville sequels, and this one's got like the TV movie, which is The Evil Escapes, Amityville 1992, It's About Time, Amityville New Generation, and Amityville Dollhouse, which Amityville Dollhouse fucking slaps so hard. We got like some of the limited edition Vinegar Syndrome sleeve. Oh, most of the Vinegar Syndrome titles up here are like ones that are like the slipcovers were Black Friday exclusives or sale exclusives. Or they were just, you know, kind of exclusive ones in general, like Night Beast, Lust in the Dust, which I still haven't watched. This one, fucking Blood Games. I covered this on my channel. Anytime I say I covered this on my channel, I'll put a link in the description for that review. They might not all get added at once, but I promise they'll all get added eventually. Blood Games I really liked, though. This is a really great little 90s exploitation title. We got the Candy Snatchers as well, which I also reviewed. We got the Flesh Pot on 42nd Street Blu-ray, which is like the first time that the uncut version of that film has been available. I remember around the same time that this Blu-ray was coming out, I think it was AGFA and Something Weird. They announced a Blu-ray release of Flesh Pot on 42nd Street with the Guru the Mad Monk as like a bonus film, and that release, I remember seeing that release on like Amazon, and then it fucking disappeared like overnight. But I remember they were doing that, and I remember looking at it, and it was not the uncut version of Flesh Pot, it was the R-rated cut. Not that the uncut version, like, you know, automatically means this film is better, but this is a really great little film. Speaking of Andy Milligan, right next to it, we got Seeds and Vapors, which is another Vinegar Syndrome release. That one's limited. I think that one's actually out of print now. But we also got Revenge of the Living Dead Girls up here, which this is like the Black Friday version that came with the slipcover, not the slipcover, but it came with the soundtrack. I know there's a wide release, a non like limited release of this that came out with different artwork, which I kind of like that artwork a little bit more. But this movie is really wild. I watched this when I was like 14 years old on Amazon, not Amazon, on Netflix streaming. This was like way back early in the days of Netflix streaming, back when like the actual listings of the movies on there weren't the movies themselves. It was literally the DVD titles. Because I remember for the longest time on like Netflix streaming, you could, if you wanted to watch like Problem Child, you had to look up Problem Child 1 and 2, and it would literally be both of them, but it would literally just be like the DVD cover for like the double pack DVD release of those movies. And that's how it was on Netflix streaming early in the early days. And this was on there, and I don't know why it was on there, but I watched it as like a fucking 14, 13-year-old boy, and it fucking changed my life. This movie is really wild and awful and very sleazy and gross. Really, really wild shit. Speaking of wild, sleazy, and gross, you got like Absurd and Anthropophagus, which I really don't want to get into those too much, but Wax Mask is pretty cool as well. We're getting into like the slipcovers and stuff from Severin. We got Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals, which I can't show the cover to this one because it's got Pam Grier, or not Pam Grier, Laura Gemser's breasts on it. But this is a really wild one, super sleazy exploitation, sexploitation title. I really like this one though. This one's really fucked up. There's like a really wild scene that is a lesbian sex scene that is intercut with a monkey putting on a pair of Ray-Bans and smoking a Marlboro, which is like, you know, just the wildest thing ever. Like, that's absolute Kino level shit. And I managed to get the slipcover edition. I don't know if this is still in print because I got this last year and the slipcover was still available. I'm pretty sure the slipcover is limited though. So, speaking of limited slipcovers that they definitely don't sell anymore, we got the slipcover version of Shocking Dark under the Terminator 2 title. I really wish I would have gotten their release of Night Killer with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 title, but I didn't. But this is up here on the shelf just because I managed to get this version of it before they stopped selling the dumb slipcover, which is just so amazing. I love it. Also up here we got their Blu-ray of The Horrors of Spider Island, which I remember watching this on Mystery Science Theater 3000 a very long time ago, and I was like, this is trash. You know, the only thing that saved it was the commentary, but this is like, but having rewatched it, this is actually a pretty interesting little pretty interesting bad movie. Not really good. I really like the artwork on the Blu-ray though. The artwork is very nice, very colorful. Artwork, very, very nice, very colorful, and I really like these slipcover art as well. Man, I kind of hate doing these videos because like I always get shit like just messed up. We got like the Blood on Satan's Claw, which is in a slipcover protector. Same with my copy of Combat Shock from Severin, which is a fantastic release. I really wish they would at least release the color-corrected version of that on streaming or something, because the color-corrected version of Combat Shock is like absolutely amazing, and it really like fixes some of the problems that the version that is like readily available to the public has. Up here we got like the two of the recent box sets from Severin, the Al Adamson Masterpiece Collection and the Dungeon of Andy Milligan, which the Al Adamson set is like amazing. This is like pretty much his entire filmography, I'm pretty sure, other than like 1 or 2 movies, which is absolutely insane. And I really love it. And I actually found out today that I've actually seen, other than the one film that he made that is lost, which is The Lash of Lust, I've actually seen every Al Adamson film. So, yeah, I can check that off the old bucket list. I've seen every Al Adamson film, and I'm proud to have. He was a very interesting director. But I think Andy Milligan was more so an interesting director. Unfortunately, his films aren't as widely respected or appreciated. Um, Although I feel like his films are a lot more nasty and exploitative and even more artistically inclined in some ways. Specifically with like Fleshpot on 42nd Street and Vapors and Seeds, I think are more artistically inclined than your average exploitation title. Um, Intentionally artistically inclined, I should say, because a lot of people interpret Milligan's entire body of work, um, as like a piece of auteur filmmaking, and I would definitely say Milligan was an auteur, but unintentionally, at least for a decent number of his films. But when he was trying to be legit auteur, he made something actually like really good, which was like Seeds or Vapors or Fleshpot on 42nd Street. And that being said, though, I still really love this set. I really love Milligan's work. We also got the Hemisphere box of horrors, which is really nice. We got this box set of Oshima Nagisa's, or Nagisa Oshima, I should say, his work from the 60s. There's some hits in here, though. Violence at Noon is really good. Same with Three Resurrected Drunkards, and what's the other one? Japanese Summer Double Suicide. Those are all really great. Pleasures of the Flesh is okay. I haven't watched it in a minute, but I remember liking that one. The only one in here I haven't watched is Sing a Song of Sex. But still, it's a really great set. Not a limited or anything, but it's a set that I keep up here just because it's, genre filmmaking and very interesting, transgressive shit. Trying to get this just right. We got like the Vincent Price Collection Volume 1, which is a really nice little set. It's got some big time hits on there. Like, all of these are winners. We got Possession, the Blu-ray from Mondo Vision, which is really nice. Going down here and actually getting into the rest of this shit, we got some cannibal films. I don't want to focus too much on these because cannibal films are like really needlessly like racist and exploitative and nasty. And like, don't get me wrong, I still think Cannibal Holocaust is an amazing film. I think it's a like really, really great horror film. But I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle the animal cruelty anymore. I watch the animal cruelty free version if I watch this film. The last time I watched it, I watched that version, and that's the version I'm going to stick with from now on, because it's still a legitimately super disturbing and graphic and amazing film without all of that unnecessary shit. And there's also some stuff with the production beyond the animal cruelty that kind of drags it down. So, and that goes with like, a lot of cannibal films. Cannibal films tend to usually, rely on animal cruelty and exploiting native tribes and vilifying them, which is like something that we really don't need in this modern era, which is why I'm happy there aren't any modern cannibal films. Get the fuck out of here, Green Room. You don't deserve to be on next to these actually good films. Either way, getting into like sexploitation and or just like really kind of risque sexual stuff. Nothing crazy here. We've got the All Night at the Pono and All Night at the Bizarre Art Theater, both links in the description. I covered these for 2 of my subscriber specials. These were absolute hell to get through. Just literally, both of these combined is 24 hours of really awful low-budget 70s porn, and it was hard to sit through all of that. If Vinegar Syndrome ever releases another set of this, I will buy it because I really like the packaging. It's really, really nice. And I'm pretty sure I read on their website that this packaging is like 100% recycled material too, and it has a nice like feel to it. Like, it feels like kind of like nice, like not nice cardboard, but like kind of, it feels like actual cardboard. Like, it's not smoothed out or anything. Like, this feels kind of dirty and nasty almost. Yeah. Yeah, let's fucking continue. Blood-sucking freaks. I don't think I need to go into this one too much. I will say though, this is one of the films I covered in the collaboration video I did with Horrible Reviews. That was a part of that Horrible Reviews hosted, I should say. I covered this film and I talked about it, and the link to that video will also be in the description. I talked about that and The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, which is a really great one. We got Caligula here, which this is the Australian DVD from like the early 2000s. This is the Australian cut, which it cuts out like all of the violence and a lot of the nudity. And don't get me wrong, like it's hard to find a version of this film that really satisfies me, because like to make a film about Caligula and not have it be like super violent and kind of decadent and hedonistic and sexual is kind of doing a disservice to who Caligula was as a person, to the kind of monster he was as a person, I should say. But it's also like, but I think that to overdo it on either end, it makes it into like makes it into high camp. So you know, it's hard to find the right cut that has like the right amount of sex and violence, but the right amount of political intrigue and actual plot. We got The Curious Dr. Hump, another one that I talked about on my channel before. God, I'm gonna have to link so many things in the description. You know what? I think I might actually yeah. Okay. Going on, you know, nothing too crazy here. We got The Devil's Honey right here, which is a really wild Lucio Fulci film that, like, went unreleased for a while. It's a weird kind of sexploitation, revenge, thriller, horror film. It's very weird, very psychosexual. Very interesting, though. I quite liked that one. We got, like, Dracula Sucks from Vinegar Syndrome right here, which Dracula sucks. That movie sucks. We got Eat the Schoolgirl, Osaka Telephone Club. This is a bootleg I got from my bootleg guy. This is not an anime, despite the artwork. This is a very weird kind of JV, disturbing, splattery, like gore film from the 90s. From Japan. We got like Gwendolyn. This is an amazing one. Like absolutely like one of my favorite movies, weirdly enough. I bought this on a blind buy because I like seen trailers for it and seen the announcement video for the Blu-ray release from Severin, and I was like, this looks like it could be fun. And this is like a really wild weird adventure, kind of globe-trotting, sexploitation comedy adventure film. We got the Alsa movies, which is, I don't think I need to talk about the Alsa films too much. You know, Shogun's Joy of Torture, which this one's a somewhat recent addition to the collection. I quite like this film. Let My Puppets Come. This is an amazing puppet porn comedy musical film. It's very hilarious. We got like Orgy of the Dead, which is great. You know, like stuff like Paranoid Garden, Serbian film. I don't even want to touch that. Sallow, or the 120 Days of Sodom, which I don't think I really need to talk about that one either. I think this film is iconic and infamous enough without me really getting into it. We got like My Red Guts, which is, this one's really cool. A really cool, weird, disturbing, like lo-fi Japanese shot-on-video splatter film about a woman disemboweling herself and eating her own intestines. It's very disturbing, and like an extra disturbing bit about this film, I think it was either this film or the director's other film, Tumbling Doll Flesh, also released in the US by Massacre, but I can't remember which one it was, but the star of one of these two films, she committed suicide after the film like was released, and that like adds, I think it was My Red Guts actually, which is disturbing because that film is literally about suicide. And that's like a really disturbing thing I learned like very recently that I thought was just like, I was just kind of put back by that. We got Life and Death of a Porno Gang. Can't go wrong with that. You know, these last two titles or whatever, getting into like the blaxploitation kind of stuff. You know, we have the classics. We got Blackula. We got or I think both Blackula films. We got Blackenstein. We got Coonskin. We got the Dolomite and the other Rudy Ray Moore films. We got Black Devil Doll from Hell and Tales from the Quad Dead Zone. Two really great, super low budget genre pieces. Then we got some like gross out horror kind of stuff. Garbage Pail Kids movie is in here because I think that just fits in. The Greasy Strangler, Female Trouble, Pink Flamingos. I actually saw Pink Flamingos on 35mm once. There's the ticket stub from the 1st of December 2017. I saw that on 35mm, and it was a hell of an experience, to say the least. Getting into the documentaries and shockumentaries, there's some pretty depraved, disturbing, and just like unpleasant stuff in here. So I think I'm just gonna skip over this for now. Getting into the revenge films, this is more like it. Got like Adam Chaplin, The Crow. Something kind of funny is I was eating Chinese food a couple weeks ago, and I got a fortune cookie, and the fortune cookie was literally a quote from The Crow. So I now have put it in the case, and that's where it will stay. It can't rain all the time. Is what is that's what the fortune said. It's right there. That's the proof. And that is where it is staying, and I'm not putting that back on the shelf because I pulled the slipcover off. We got Demented, which this went out of print. I don't know if there's still copies available, but I bought this for like $12 because it was going out of print. This is one of those Scream Factory titles where like Scream Factory put it out because they were just like, oh, we have the rights to this shitty movie. Let's just put it out, even though this is not on brand for us at all. And it is not. This is like a very disturbing, very cruel like film, basically about a woman having a mental breakdown after she's gang raped, and some men break into her house, and she assumes that those are the men who like attacked her, and she basically murders them all. It's a really wild movie, and it's kind of like it's very disturbing. It's not fun, but it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't hate this movie. Like, a lot of people hate this movie. I don't hate it. Getting into like some other stuff, like there's like nothing too crazy here. Like Lady Snowblood, I have like a bootleg of the 4-hour-long cut of Kill Bill. We got like Martyrs, Mandy, Old Boy, your usual stuff you'd see. We got another bootleg Blu-ray from my bootleg guy, the Shoujo Tsubaki collection, which is the anime from the 90s and the live-action adaptation from 2016. As well as one of the director of the animated film, his short film, The Death Lullaby, is on here as well. Nothing too crazy there, Getting over here, and we're starting to make a little bit of progress, let's see, more revenge films. We got Miss 45. Miss 45 is really great. Rikio, Shogun Assassin, Surf Nazis Must Die. I don't know if this has a Blu-ray release yet, but Surf Nazis Must Die needs a Blu-ray release because that movie is fucking amazing. We got this one, which I'm ashamed to even have in my collection after watching it. This is like a really, really, really horribly like racist film. That's basically just like I Spit on Your Grave, but racist is how I would describe it. And somebody pointed out to me after I wrote a review for this film on Letterboxd, like proclaiming like this is actually like really horribly like just really horribly racist and awful. And somebody pointed out to me, like, well, how can it be racist? The director's black. And I'm like, I don't think that makes anything that goes on in that film okay, my dude. Like, at all. Oh, God. We got Thriller, Cruel Picture, which is just exactly what it says on the tin. I don't know if this is out of print yet, because this, like, release came out in, like, 2004. Yeah. 2004. And this is supposed to be, like, a limited edition. And, like, this is... Last I checked, this was still in print. But this is, like, the uncut version of it that has all of the extra, like, porn scenes added in. Which, this film is definitely really wild. It's very disturbing. Very, very, very legendary, exploitation title, no doubt. But it is, it's not a fun one. Fun fact, I watched this with my older sister once. You know, I'll go through and I'll point out some... I'm going to point out things like that as I go through this. I'm going to point out shit that I've forced my siblings to watch and whether or not they hated me for it. We got Astro Zombies. This is a somewhat recent addition to the collection. Really love Astro Zombies. You know, Bath Salt Zombies. This is my first Dustin Mills film. I found this at FYE on, like, I think it was like my 17th or 16th birthday. I can't remember exactly. But I went to FYE and I found this, and the cover just caught my eye, so I had to grab it. We got, like, a bootleg of the uncut version of Brain Dead. We got, yes, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. This is a really fun one. It's kind of a shame the director didn't do much after this. The only film he did after this was another film called Tabloid, where I'm pretty sure he directed one of the segments. It was an anthology, shot on video, an anthology. But Bloodsuckers from Outer Space is really fun, kind of down-home exploitation title. Of course, you gotta have Burial Ground. Like, holy shit, this is like the paragon of bad Italian zombie movies. Of course, we got, you know, Brides of Blood, Mad Doctor of Blood Island, which those are both fun. We got The Children from Vinegar Syndrome. You know, we got the Gates of Hell trilogy from Lucio Fulci, Cannibal Hookers from David Farmer, or was it Donald Farmer? Wait, was it Donald? Yeah, Donald Farmer. We got Dead and Breakfast, which this actually stars Osgood Perkins, which is the son of Anthony Perkins, who directed, what did he direct? The Blackcoat's Daughter, as well as Gretel and Hansel, which both films I really, really liked. I didn't know he was in this film until I rewatched it recently, and I was like, wait a minute, this stars Oz Perkins? This stars Anthony Perkins' son, and yes, it does. I don't know if this film has a Blu-ray release, but it needs one. This is a very fun, like, bad, splattery zombie flick. I got Dead Girl. Dead Girl is one of those movies I watched when I was a teenager, and I was like, hey, this is actually, like, a really cool movie. This is another one I forced my sister to watch. I watched this with my older sister as well. This film isn't like the worst movie ever made, but it's definitely not very good. Also, yeah, I forced my sister to watch Dead Alive once. Let me get down here on the ground so it'll be easier to film. We got The Dead Hate the Living from Full Moon, which this movie is kind of ass. We got Dead Sushi. Nobody talks about this one, but, like, this came out during that weird wave in, like, Japanese horror cinema that happened in, like, the mid to late 2000s, where they just made really wild, like, splatter films with really weird out there concepts, and this is one of those films, and it's literally about zombie sushi. It's very fun. It's very awful, but very fun. We got Demons. Some people would say it's not right for me to have demons in this section, but fuck you, that's what I say. We got Dead American Woman. This is a really good one from Peter Romeo Lambert. I covered this one on my channel not long after it came out, actually. Not long after it finally got a release. So, link to that in the description. Demon Wind, with the nice lenticular slipcover. This is a really fun, like, Evil Dead ripoff from the early 90s. Dr. Butcher MD. This is probably my favorite Italian zombie film. It's really, really wild, really bad, really graphic. It's a weird mix of like cannibal film and zombie film kind of elements, and I really, really appreciate that. Evil Dead, the remake. I need to get the Blu-ray release of the uncut version, but this is the fucking DVD release from like late 2013 when it finally hit home media. I remember I bought this like the week it came out because I really loved the remake. Of course, you got Evil Dead. Can't go wrong with Evil Dead, or Evil Dead 2, or Army of Darkness. Got like the first 2 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. You know, nothing too crazy here. Up next, I'm gonna switch hands for the camera for a minute. Up next, we got Fiend from Massacre. This is a really great one. I really love Don Dohler's films. Don Dohler also did Night Beast, which is on the Blu-ray shelf for the limited stuff. But Fiend is like his like attempt at doing something a little more darker than what he was doing, because in the 70s he was doing films like Galaxy Invader and what was the other one? God, I can't remember what it was called, and now it's gonna piss me off that I can't remember the the other film's name. I think it was The Alien Effect or something like that. But this was like his first attempt at like making like something that's a little more like risque, because those 2 films were like PG. And this is like the first one that was rated R. This one isn't necessarily like gory or crazy or anything, but this is like a really fun kind of low budget, spooky, like zombie energy vampire kind of movie. We got Flesh Eating Mothers, which is a really great low budget Blu-ray, not low budget Blu-ray, but low budget kind of zombie comedy from the 80s. Really like this one. This one's really fun. The thing I remember the most about Flesh Eating Mothers is, and it's actually what's the anniversary of it? The anniversary was like last week of when I first saw this film, and I first saw it because I had to get a scan done on my back because I had broken it at work. I'd slipped and had a compression fracture in my spine, and I had to basically drink this solution, and then they were like, all right, come back in like 4 hours and we'll do a scan. And I didn't want to leave the hospital because I was like, well, you know, if I gotta leave the fucking I may as well just hang around in the hospital. So I literally hung out in the hospital food court and watched this on my phone while waiting for the time to go back up and get my scan done on my spine. You know, that's a fun story. All right, we're gonna sit Flesh Eating Mothers on the ground just for now, because I don't want to fucking deal with it. Nothing else too crazy in here. We got I Drink Your Blood, which this one's one of my favorite movies. Super wild exploitation film. One of those exploitation films where the trailer for it actually like matches what the film is, and this film still holds up as like legitimately disturbing and like gruesome to this day. Even if it has aged a bit, it's still pretty gruesome. We got Living Dead Girl from Jean Rowland. Funny story about this. I bought this in like, I want to say probably 2015. Still haven't watched it. I've tried to watch this like 3 times, and every single time I get interrupted by something and I just don't finish it. So I still haven't watched this. I've owned this for a very long time though. Oh, here we go. My Boyfriend's Back. This is a really fun one. Fun PG-13 zombie comedy, basically about a guy who dies in a freak accident and after asking the popular girl out to prom, and he comes back from the dead so he can take her to prom, and he has to eat people in order to keep from rotting. It's really dumb, kind of teen sex comedy, sort of. I really like this film though. I kind of wish there was like a version of it that was like even more kind of raunchy and ridiculous, but at the same time I kind of like how they did what they could with the PG-13 rating that they had to like go by, and they definitely do some shit in that movie. We got an AGFA Bleeding Skull release of Zombie Ninja, or Ninja Zombie, which is fun. Got Night of the Living Dead from Criterion. I really don't think I need to go over like the classics too much. You know, we got all the Romero Dead movies, which it's whatever. Let's just move on. Next to them, however, we got Perkins 14, which I haven't seen this in a minute, but this is I remember this being a really solid kind of brainwashing zombie film. We got Plan 9, we got Poltergeist, we got Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, which I'm pretty sure this is the last film that Roddy Piper was in before he passed. I actually have in this DVD case the poster for this film, which I was given, which they were just kind of like giving them out as giving out to promote the film. Yeah, you're getting the real shit now. Look at this. Look at this shitty fucking poster. This movie sucks ass too, but I have the poster for it because they were like giving them out at a convention to promote the film, and I hung that in my room for a bit. It was hanging on the wall for a minute, but now it sits in the case with the film. I'm pretty sure this film is actually like distributed by Troma, but this one was mainly just done because they wanted to put it in like the horror block, I think, or horror pack. We got Rabid, classic Cronenberg. We got Raw Force. This is a class. This one is like a classic among me and my friends. Me and my friends really love this movie. I showed this to one of them like many years ago at like 3 a.m. We were like really tired and we watched this and we laughed our asses off about it. And then the next year we watched it all. We made sure to show it to a bunch of other people, and we had a great time with it. You know, Wreck, Redneck Zombies. We got Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which is nice. Oh, we got this Scream Theater double feature of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things and Forever Evil. I need to get the Blu-ray of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Forever Evil, I haven't watched in a minute, but I remember Forever Evil being like pretty fucking gory. I remember there being a scene where like a woman gets her fetus ripped out, which is like wild. You know, but you also see that in like Anthropophagus, Shaun of the Dead, you know, Train to Busan. We got this multi-pack of like zombie films, which literally just has Return of the Living Dead 3, 4, and 5, which are all like, well, these two are trash. This one's okay. That is trash. Those two are okay. We got Tombs of the Blind Dead, which I forget if this has a Blu-ray release or not, but if this doesn't, I know the fourth one, Night of the Seagulls, has a Blu-ray release, but all of these films need Blu-ray releases, because the Blind Dead movies are all really good. Even the third one, which is, you know, The Ghost Galleon, which is kind of a shitty movie. Continuing this nonsense down here, we got, like, The Ghost Galleon, Uncle Sam. We got Versus, we got Wormwood, we got Lucio Fulci's Zombie, as well as Zombie 3 and 4, and Zombie 5 Killing Birds. We got the zombie double feature thing here, which is, I think it is Nightmare City and Hell of the Living Dead. Place your bets now. Yep, Nightmare City, Hell of the Living Dead. Both very fun Euro trash zombie titles. Getting into the slashers now. Slashers and giallo films now. We got like Anthropophagus 2000, we got Acid Bath, All the Colors of the Dark, which is a really great giallo. We got Axe and Kidnapped Coed, which these aren't really slasher films, but like, where are you going to put Axe? I mean, you could put it under, like, psychological horror, I guess, you know, and I might move it there, but these are both really cool, really great films. Axe, specifically, is really amazing. Um, America's Deadliest Home Video is pretty cool. We got the August Underground movies because I hate myself. We got the Belko Experiments. We got Babysitter Massacre, which this one is an old one in the collection. I remember I got this from the director. He signed it to Cody. 'Tis the Season. Director Henrik Kuto, who is who was from Dayton. He lives in Dayton, Ohio. Ohioan filmmaker, fellow Ohio boy, which is great. This is his like tribute to like, you know, slashers. It's very, very fun, kind of sleazy slasher film. He's been working on sequels to it forever, but you know, it's kind of hard getting that shit going. We got the Black Christmas and the remake. We got like the, you know, Uel Lummel Boogeyman, which is like one of his best movies. We got Bleeding Lady, which I haven't watched. We got Boogeyman 2, which was better than the first Boogeyman from 2005. We got like Blood Feast 2, Bloody Pit of Horror, which is getting a Blu-ray release from Severin, which I'm looking forward to that. We got Bloodbeat, which this one is fucking crazy. Bloodbeat is like a weird movie about a suit of samurai armor in Wisconsin that comes to life and kills people, and it's directed by a French dude. So, like, you look at that fucking name. Fabrice, what is that? Fucking... Vaparatos, I think, in the 80s, just made this weird slasher film about a suit of armor in Wisconsin, suit of samurai armor in Wisconsin killing people. We got Bloody Birthday. That's another one that's really classic in my house. I watch that every year. Got like the Blood trilogy, Wizard of Gore and the Gore Girls, which I'm probably going to give these two Blu-rays to a friend of mine who collects movies, because I have the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast set, so I don't really need these anymore. I mean, I could sell them, but I think I'll give them to my friend. He'll probably never watch them, but, you know, maybe. I might sell them. I don't know. We got, Bloody Moon. It's a good Jess Franco film. Here we go. Blood Theater. This one, I grabbed this one. This is like one of the last slipcover versions. I managed to grab this before the slipcover disappeared. But this is a really wild slasher film from the 80s that comes with the director's like second film. Yeah, it comes with the second film, The Visitants, which is like a weird sci-fi comedy. But like this is his first film, which is like this weird slasher film about a haunted movie theater. It's a fun one. We got Blue Sunshine in the slipcover protector because I got that shit signed by the director's son. Yeah, Jeff Lieberman, who directed Blue Sunshine, is a really interesting director. I really love his work. All of his works are very uniquely funky in their own way, and I kind of love that fucking Lieberman funk. We got Cemetery of Terror, which, you know, it's called Cemetery of Terror. People classify this as a zombie movie. However, this is literally just House by the Cemetery, but it's Mexican. That's what this film is. It's just House by the Cemetery, but it's Mexican. It's a serial killer comes back from the dead, and he happens to be like, you know, and he happens to raise the rest of the cemetery with him. Let's get up off the floor. I'm gonna pause the camera for this one. All right, we back, and we in the corner now. We in the corner of the closet now. All the way over here. We got, what is this, The Children? This is like one about chemicals in the water making children kill people. Corpse Grinders. Classic, Ted V. Michaels. You know, The Collector, The Collection. Corpse Mania, which is a really fun Hong Kong murder mystery that it literally feels like a giallo film. It's literally about a serial killer targeting prostitutes. It feels like a giallo film. This one we have City and Panic, which I have the slip turned around to the alternate title, The AIDS Murders, which this is a weird 80s shot on video like murder mystery slasher about a that's very much like inspired by Mario Bava. That is literally about a serial killer targeting people with AIDS. Um, it's a wild one, and it also like references Fritz Lang's M. Funny enough, I saw this before I saw the Fritz Lang film, and I was like, oh shit, that's what that film's about. Um, Cry Wolf, whatever. I think we got like this was the Murder of the Black Dahlia. Curse of the Black Dahlia. I still haven't watched that. I bought that for like $2. We got Deadly Blessing. Great early Wes Craven. Oh, here we go. Dead Kids. Here we go. This is the real shit. Dead Kids, also known as Strange Behavior. This is a really great Exploitation slasher from the 80s. The soundtrack's done by Tangerine Dream. The soundtrack is amazing. It feels very Carpenter-like. It's a really good one. Really fun. I really like that one. We got Disconnected, which, is a weird, which is from the director of Psychos in Love. This is like the first film he did, I think. And it's a weird, like, disjointed, surreal, like, psychological horror slasher film about a woman receiving obscene phone calls. We got Don't Go in the Woods. This one. I hated this film when I saw it as a teenager. I love this film now. This film is, like, absolutely amazing, god-awful trash. I'm so happy that I own it on Blu-ray. And I'm so happy I got the slipcover for it, too. Dr. Gore. If I do another re-review, it's probably going to be on Dr. Gore. Because while I think my old review of Dr. Gore, which I did rewatch, is an alright one, I kind of wanted to revisit it and, say some things about it that I've noticed when I rewatched it somewhat recently. We got, like, Don't Panic. This one is also from the director of Cemetery of Terror, which was down there. This is a weird kind of... I don't even remember what this is about. It's like about this guy, and he like plays with a Ouija board, and it like possesses him with a demon, and he starts like killing people. I think it's a weird kind of Nightmare on Elm Street clone made in Mexico. That's like, it's like they tried to make an American horror film, an American like 80s slasher film basically, and it's really wild. Oh, here we go. Drive-In Massacre. I did a re-review on this one because I hated this when I first saw it. So I'll put that in the description. I hate myself for repeating these phrases because I'm going to have to do so much extra work to do this shit. I like Evil Ed, which is fun. 3 on a Meat Hook and Flesh Feast. 3 on a Meat Hook is a really interesting... I'm pretty sure William Girdler directed that. It doesn't say so on the back, but William Girdler, I'm pretty sure, directed 3 on a Meat Hook, who also did Day of the Animals and Grizzly, which those 2 films are really good. 3 on a Meat Hook's okay. It's an Ed Gein-inspired, like, slasher film. Phantom Killer, which is whatever. I'm gonna go take a piss. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. The Friday the 13th movies, I don't think I have to say anything. There's Frontiers. Frontiers is cool. The Funhouse. It's a really good Tobe Hooper flick. Green Room. Here we go. We got the one title from that director that I actually managed to get the slipcover for, which this is Grave Robbers. This is the original title of it. But this is basically very similar to Don't Panic. This is basically like a Mexican slasher film, like pretty much verbatim. A weird kind of satanic knight rises from the grave with a big axe and he kills people. It's really wild, really violent, really good stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking misplace it and go on with my day. Let's see. Yeah, the Halloween movies, this is whatever. We got Headless, signed by the director and the star. And I think 2 of the stars and the director. I remember this movie being like really, really, really fucked up and disturbing. I kind of don't want to rewatch it because I feel like if I watch it now, I'll be like, this is way too edgy for me, and I'll hate it, which I don't want to hate it because I remember really liking Headless. What else we got going on here? Oh, here we go. We got Hollywood Horror House. Yeah. This one, I don't remember too much about this one, but I remember this being like this guy. He starts taking care of this like aging like Hollywood actress and starts killing the people around her and like gains her trust and just so he can like keep her captive. Very very interesting film, some really cool surreal visuals going on. This movie was shot like between like 1969 and 1973, like on and off for a while. So it's one of those films that was kind of just made like whenever they could make it, and it thankfully got a release, and it has a nice Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray with a slipcover. Speaking of limited Blu-ray releases from Vinegar Syndrome, we got a Horror House on Highway 5. Last I checked, this went out of print. It was only limited to, I think it says 3,000 copies. But this is a pretty fun one. Pretty fun, kind of almost backyard slasher film feeling movie. The director made a sequel to it, Horror House on Highway 6, which I haven't seen yet because I heard it was fucking awful. Oh, here we go. Holla If You Hear Me, Kill You. This was a shot on like digital video, like murder mystery slasher film, basically about a bunch of like rappers who are locked inside the studio building, and there's somebody trying to kill them in order to steal their music. Really really wild movie. I got this. I watched this on one of the old Wizards of Gore streams with Andrew, and we really liked it. And I got this off eBay for like I think like $3, which is not bad at all. How to Be a Serial Killer. I always really liked this movie. I always thought this was a really fun one. Really fun kind of self-aware comedy, basically about a serial killer explaining how to properly be a serial killer. What else? We got The Ice Cream Man. We got, ooh, here we go. Island of Blood. I really like this one. I really like this. Ooh, look at that. I really like Island of Blood. This is one of those films that I'd seen before and I like didn't like it, and I decided that like I would give it a shot if I bought the Blu-ray cheap. And I bought the Blu-ray super cheap because it was like 50% off, and I actually quite liked it, which is great. It's great when you revisit a film you hated and find that you liked it. Oh, here we go. We got Luther the Geek. This is one from Vinegar Syndrome that they did in collaboration with Troma, because Troma has the rights to this one. This is a really pretty fucking good, disturbing horror film, basically about a guy with metal teeth who, he's a geek. He bites the heads off chickens and stuff. That's like his backstory. And he like ends up in an institution, and then he gets out and basically just starts biting people. It's a really really pretty disturbing little film. It's also got some dark comedy going on in there. What else we got going on down here? Murder Party. That's a pretty cool one. Got like My Bloody Valentine in the slipcover. Protector. Because I love My Bloody Valentine way too much. Oh, here we go. Mother's Day. I love this one. This is a really great Troma-produced slasher film made by Lloyd Kaufman's brother, Charles Kaufman. Not Charlie Kaufman, the director of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and Anomalisa. This is a different guy, but this is Charles Kaufman. Really wild, disturbing, grimy, backwoods slasher film, basically about these two brothers who torture women in order to, amuse their mother, and it's very misogynistic, very trashy, very exploitative, the kind of stuff we like on this channel. Let's have a seat. And we got, oh shit, I forgot I own the Massage Parlor Murders. This is an old Vinegar Syndrome release. You could tell by like the back and everything, but I think this is, yeah, Vinegar Syndrome Spine number 004. This is one of their early releases. I don't remember too much about Massage Parlor Murders. I bought this one like I think last year. I remember this being kind of sleazy though. sleazy little fun footnote. Ooh, here we go. Madman, another early Vinegar Syndrome release. Although this one was Spine 76, so this is a little later in the game, but this is still a little early in the game. I really like Madman. Very fun, backwoods kind of summer. I forget if it's the summer camp slash film or not. I know it's inspired by the Cropsey urban legend, though, which is cool. We got Microwave Massacre. Never thought this would have a Blu-ray release. Now that it does, I'm kind of not surprised about other things that have Blu-ray releases since it came out. New York Ripper, great, disturbing, misogynistic, giallo trash. Speaking of disturbing, misogynistic trash, we got Night Killer, which is a weird horror film where, like, this killer stalks this woman and he wears, like, a bad Freddy Krueger mask and has, like, a weird claw hand. And then they released it, like, in Italy as the third Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, which I'm sure caused even further confusion. We got the Nostril Picker. This is one that Lewis from Massacre Video actually gave to me when I met him at a convention. He recognized me. My first time at Cinema Wasteland, he recognized me, was like, "You're Cody, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he gave me this and Sex Android. I was like literally handed them to him because I was like, "I want to get these," and he was like, "Just take them." And you know, it was the coolest thing ever. I still keep the wristband from that Cinema Wasteland in the case. I hope to make it to Cinema Wasteland this coming year. At least one of them. Another Massacre release, Nutbag. This is a sleazy one. Ooh, here we go. Phenomena. Absolutely amazing Dario Argento film. Probably one of my favorite Argento films. It's hard to decide between this and Opera, because Opera, which is literally right next to it on the shelf, which I need to upgrade to the Blu-ray, I know. Opera was like one of my first Argento films, and I always really loved Opera. But Phenomena was like amazing, and it also has fucking, you know, Donald Pleasance in it, who does a really great job. Really like that one. Phantom of the Opera, starring Robert Englund. I wish I would have gotten the Scream Factory Blu-ray of this before it went out of print. But actually, in the most recent In Search of Darkness documentary, Robert Englund talks about how when he made this film, he had plans to do a sequel to it. And because this film bombed, it never got made, which really sucks because the sequel sounded really, really cool. We got Psychos in Love with the slipcover protector on. This sticker on the slipcover is usually right in the middle, but I noticed that it said something underneath the sticker, so I felt like it was my duty to move the sticker over, and I'm happy I did, because it just says I hate grapes. But Psychos in Love, I'm so happy I managed to get the slipcover of this, because I really love this movie. It's a really fun, like, violent and also very, very funny parody of, like, romantic comedies about two serial killers falling in love. We got Pigs, which I don't like the slipcover for this one. I mainly bought the slipcover for it just because I was like, hey, I can buy the slipcover with this, because when I bought the Blu-ray, the slipcover was like the new thing, and I was like, oh, I could buy it with the slipcover, so I did, because it's limited. But Pigs, this is not, you'd look at it and you'd think, oh, this is like a slasher film, and you'd look at the VHS artwork and think it's about killer pigs, but this is actually a really cool psychological horror film that was also released as like the 13th Pig and the Strange Love Exorcist. That's basically about a woman who is like a serial killer, and she like basically shacks up with this guy who raises pigs, and you know, people are like searching for her and like trying to find out like who she is. And yeah, it's a really, really cool little flick. Pandemonium, it's whatever. Anything crazy going on in here? We got Psycho Cop Returns, which is really fun. Pledge Night. Pledge Night is also really good Vinegar Syndrome release. We got Popcorn, which is a great Synapse release and a great slash film in general. Here we go. This one doesn't get enough praise. I hope this gets a Blu-ray release eventually, because I'd love to see it. It's a Screenplay, from Trauma. This is a wild kind of slasher film, shot in black and white, shot to look like a German expressionist film, actually. And it's basically about this guy who tries to become a writer, a film writer, a script writer, and he starts to write like a horror film script, and people start turning up dead. And it's implied like that the stuff he's writing is coming true. It's a really good film from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a while though, so I need to rewatch it. What we got? We got Seed. That film sucks ass. Sledgehammer is amazing. I love Sledgehammer. We got Splatter Farm, the Polonia Brothers flick, which is a really great shot on video splatter film. Splatter University, which I remember that one from high school. We got Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things, which is a really cool kind of early entry in the canon of queer horror. Basically about these two bank robbers who are hiding out in a small Florida town, and one of them is hiding out in drag, pretending to be the other's Aunt Martha. And that's the film. And he starts, killing people because, they get jealous of one another, because they get jealous, because Aunt Martha starts killing people because Aunt Martha is jealous of the attention that the guy is getting. The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. This is like my first Sergio Martino giallo, and I actually really loved this one. I thought this was amazing. This was an amazing fucking movie. I actually liked it a lot more than I did All the Colors of the Dark, which is really wild because All the Colors of the Dark is a lot more like my style and speed because it's very weird and psychosexual. Although that film is definitely that too. Nothing too crazy down here, you got like your Slumber Party Massacres, you got, oh, here we go, I don't know why I don't have a slipcover protector for this, I'm gonna buy one, but Silent Madness, I grabbed this as soon as they announced this was their surprise release, because I was like, I've never seen this, I've always wanted to see this, so I'm buying the Blu-ray, and it's a nice release, nice restoration too. What else? Oh yeah, Summer of '84, Terror Train. Summer of '84 is actually getting a Blu-ray release from one of what is it? It's one of the partner labels that Vinegar Syndrome's working with now, which kind of pisses me off because I have this like shitty burn on demand fucking BDR ass release of Summer of '84. Meanwhile, there's like a nice actual Blu-ray coming out of it. I don't know if I'll upgrade though, because I don't like the film that much. Here we go. We got Teenage Slumber Party Nightmare. This film is fucking awful. This is like really awful. Super low budget tribute to like, Slumber Party Massacre. But like the gore effects go as far as like a guy just squirting ketchup on his head, and then they say that that's like a gaping hole in his head. It's not good. That Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the original TMC, whatever. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, we just need to brush over those. However, I do want to take a moment to say, Next Generation is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and I will die on this fucking hill. This film is a classic. It's amazing. All right. We got Terror from Norman J. Warren, which is like an interesting kind of giallo-ish movie. We got like Terror Firmer, Tourist Trap. I'm gonna get the new Blu-ray of Tourist Trap because I think the uncut version of it is finally like on Blu-ray. Urban Legends, it's whatever. The Untold Story. Always really liked this one. Happy that it's finally on Blu-ray here in the States. I'm happy that Unearthed Films is actually like putting forth effort in releasing like older stuff, because all the new stuff they release is like mostly fucking awful. But when they get their hands on something like The Untold Story or like a Serbian film, not that I'm never going to buy the release of a Serbian film just because I don't want to own it. I don't want to have to own that film again. But I like The Untold Story quite a bit. I hope that they get their hands on Ebola Syndrome, the like sort of follow up to it from the same director, starring the same actor. We got Unmasked Part 25, which is a really fun slasher parody film that's basically about like what if Jason had feelings and actually like wanted people to understand him and love him, and it's actually like kind of wholesome in a weird way. Violent shit. We got Wacko. We got Valentine and Wacko. I just need to fucking like reorganize this shit a bit. We got The Weirdo. This is an Andy Milligan film. A little different from his usual stuff. This is like a sort of like maniac origin story type movie. I think I see 555 down here. Yep, 555. We got 420 Massacre. We got Angst. Okay, we're starting to get into the psychological horror now. No, this is home invasion horror. Because there's Dial Code Santa Claus. We got Don't Breathe. We got Funny Games. We got People Under the Stairs. We got Them. We got You're Next. We got Venus Flytrap. Venus Flytrap fucking slaps. And now we're into the psychological horror. American Psycho, Audition. I have like this old ass DVD copy of Audition. Like this old fucking Lionsgate DVD from like 2000. Let me see here. Yeah, I think this might be from like 2000, 2001 maybe. Audition's a great movie. It's just I need to upgrade to the actual like Blu-ray. We got Buried Alive, also known as was it fucking Beyond the Darkness. I got the slipcover for it. But I really like this one. This is a really great Joe D'Amato film. Very disturbing psychological horror film. What's that next to it? Ah, yes, The Boys Next Door from Severin. Penelope Spiritus is The Boys Next Door, starring Charlie Sheen and Maxwell Caulfield. This is a really great one as well. Really like that. I really like her other road movie, Disturbing Road movie. Not Disturbing Road movie, but her other road movie from the 80s, Dudes. That one is really, really good. It's a really interesting, weird one. Climax is good. I really like Climax. I saw that when it came out. I saw that on an empty stomach and a couple of beers, and I really liked Climax. I still really like that one. I like The Cremator. The Cremator is really great. I really, really think that that's like an amazing film. Christmas Evil, also known as You Better Watch Out. This is a really great one. Diabolique. I love Diabolique. Getting up here. Now we're starting to get into it. Now we're fucking clowning, dude. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, I think I gotta speed this up a little bit just because, you know, I don't have all night to do this. You know, got some expected shit in here. We got like Flowers 2, which I got from Phil Stevens because I helped and fund it. I put $30 towards the film, so I got it. Although he did rip a bunch of people off with that movie, so you know, it's whatever. We got The Gift. This is a somewhat recent edition. Gummo. I really wish this would get a Blu-ray release at some point. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is great. House on Straw Hill. This is a really great one. Also known as Expose. Really great, disturbing psychological thriller film with Udo Kier. In the Realm of the Senses, we got Imprint, I Stand Alone. like nothing too crazy in here. We got Fritz Lang's M, which probably my favorite Fritz Lang film, right next to the Manson family movies and the Manson family. Oh, here, speaking of needing a US Blu-ray release, Man Bites Dog. I don't know when the fuck this is going to get a US Blu-ray, but I think it really needs it. Manhunter is really great. Red Dragon, you know, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Nurse Jill, Picnic at Hanging Rock. I really love this movie. I gifted this to my friend Chloe because I was like, I think you'll really like this. And she was like, that is a really cool movie. Thank you. Which, you know, I think it is really great. Possessor, one of my favorite ones from last year. Happy I finally got my hands on the uncut version. Because I saw that at the drive-in. I saw this at the drive-in, actually, when it came out. Because it was screening with, like, the original Halloween. Yeah, here we go. See? Possessor. There's the South Drive-In in Ohio. Like one of the last 3 drive-ins in Ohio. One of the last 2, probably. Possessor was really great. Ritual. This one's cool. This is a Joko Anwar film who directed Impetigore, which was one of my favorites from last year. This is one of his films that he did. Very interesting psychological horror film. Very good from what I remember. We got Santa Sangre. I love Santa Sangre. I'm still going to get the tattoo of the cultist symbol eventually, one of these days. We got Sex, Murder, Art, the films of Jörg Buttgereit, which I recently rewatched Der Todesking, and that film is really amazing. That film is like, that's a really great kind of expose almost on like suicide. Very interesting anthology. Just based entirely around like suicide and acts of violence. What else do we got? Speaking of suicide, we got Suicide Club. Probably one of the best Shion Sono films, and weirdly enough, still does not have a Blu-ray release anywhere in the world. I know Shion Sono doesn't give a shit about like doing Blu-ray releases of his older stuff, but like that movie's amazing. I think he should, like, you know, try to do it. What is that? Oh yeah, Blair Witch 2. We got the Blair Witch. We got Belladonna of Sadness, which I did a video on, which I'll link in the description. We got Cauldron, Baptism of Blood. This is Ted V. Michael's sequel to Blood Orgy of the She-Devils, which this is a bit better than Blood Orgy of the She-Devils, but Blood Orgy of the She-Devils is still a pretty cool little movie, I think. You know, Hereditary, Haxan, we got Manos. Can't go wrong with Manos. Got it signed by the only surviving cast member. What we got up here? The Invisible, Stonehurst Asylum. We got Suspiria. Not the bad Suspiria, the good Suspiria. Yeah, that's right. I think the remake is better. Fight Me. I saw this one when it came out. Jesus Christ, did this movie fucking destroy me. 2.5 hours in that theater was a nightmare. But I love it. The absolutely amazing folk horror film from the Soviet Union from the 60s. Really, really cool stuff. Next to The Witch, which is probably my favorite horror film of all time. I actually got a friend of mine to like finally get around to watching it, and I still have my ticket stub from when I saw it. The 25th of February, 2016. The Witch at 4:20 p.m. Seems to be a theme. But I finally got one of my friends to watch. I'm just gonna set my phone like that. Fuck it. I finally got one of my friends to watch The Witch recently, and she was like really pissed off, and I was like, pissed off about it, and I was like, why? And she's like, how can I continue watching movies knowing that film exists? Because that movie was so fucking good. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel about horror films in general now. Um, we got Black Past. Love this one. My favorite Olaf Ittenbach film. Probably my favorite shot on video film. Really great low budget gore flick. Next to Blown, which I rewatched recently, and Blown is still an amazing bad shot on video film about a killer blow up doll. So get down here. Don't think there's anything too crazy down here. We got like Kathy's Curse, which is signed by the director. You know, Dead Inside, Drag Me to Hell. We got some out of print stuff like this, The Cemetery. This is out of print currently. You cannot get your hands on this. Ooh, there's a nipple. Cannot get your hands on this film anymore. This is one of the Massacre video titles that I needed to complete the fucking catalog. I still working towards that. Another Massacre video title that is out of print that I needed to complete the catalog, which I managed to snag for pretty cheap. Here we go. Evil Bong. Love this one. This movie's fucking awful. And in the back, I have my ticket and my receipt from when I went to a dispensary in Las Vegas to buy products there. Let's just leave it at that. We got The Exorcist 2, which is the best Exorcist movie. What else we got? I got the Final Destination movies down here. I forgot I own those. Hotel Inferno, Hellboy. Ooh, here we go. How to Save Us. I got this movie in like the horror pack like years ago, and people like really hate this movie, but I actually really like this movie. I need to rewatch it, but I remember finding this to be like a really interesting, super like creepy, slow burn like horror film that's just basically about a guy kind of traveling across this like desolate wasteland in order to save his family. It's a very, very interesting film. What do we got? We got Shigoku. That's a really good one. We got a bootleg of The Keep, the Michael Mann film with the soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. I need to rewatch this because I hated this when I first watched it after buying it, and I need to rewatch it because I want to give it another shot. I want to like it because the Tangerine Dream soundtrack is amazing. What we got? Yes, Mausoleum. Another great Vinegar Syndrome title. And next to it is another good Vinegar Syndrome title, Nurse Sherry. Alright, let's quit fucking around. I forgot I had left my Blu-ray of Creature from the Black Lagoon out, and my copies of Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula on VHS. We got The Sandman from J.R. Brookwalter. That's like a really fun kind of, sort of spooky little flick. You know, nothing too amazing here. We got Wish Upon, which is a really fun bad movie. Suffer Little Children is a fun shot on video film. Got the Amityville titles. We got Bloody New Year, which is great. Crimson Peak, I stand by as being super underrated. The Changeling is really great. I don't think there's anything too crazy going on down here. Ghost House is really fun. Flesh for the Inferno, I completely forgot I owned this, but I'm gonna rewatch it because this is like a really fun, like, sort of demonia type of movie, but like, you know, but it's like a low budget horror film made in 2015 by Americans. Oh, here we go. Empire of Passion by Nagisa Oshima. Empire of Passion's really great. I love this movie. Really great ghost story. Let's see. What we got here? We got Oculus. I remember seeing that in the theater and really liking it, and everybody else thinking it was awful. The Orphanage, the One Missed Call movies, the originals, I should say. The Sentinel. This is like really, really great late 70s haunted house film. Really love this one. I think it holds up super well. And I recently this year read the novel it's based on. The novel's also pretty cool. Blood Freak is a really great killer turkey movie that's also a weird anti-drug, like anti-chemical, pro-Christian splatter film. You know, nothing else too crazy going on in here. We got Dick Shark down at the end there. There's the Blu-ray Flesh for Frankenstein that I gotta upgrade. We got Shin Godzilla, which is like, I don't own the original Gojira, which I need to, but we got like Shin Godzilla, we got Godzilla vs. Hedorah, which those are the only ones that really matter. I can't really see what I got over here. I think over here is where I have, there's the Howling, there is, Let the Right One In, there's The Hunger, which is really great vampire film, The Host is amazing, How to Make a Monster is fun, and then there is, right here is, Night of the Bloody Apes. Let me move out of the way so I can actually get a shot of this. We got The Lost Boys. We got Love Bites. This is a really fun, gay, vampire comedy. Shot on video comedy. What is this? Oh shit, I forgot I owned Mon Monsters. I completely forgot I owned this. This is a really great one. This is one of my favorite ones from a couple years ago. Really fun Taiwanese horror comedy. It's like 2 hours long, so it's a little long, but it's very much worth a watch. I think it's a very fun, but also very disturbing little film. We also have right next to it Monstrosity, the Andy Milligan Frankenstein movie, which is also fun. We got Patrick. Oh god, I talked about this one in the last one of these videos. Patrick is a really amazing Australian horror film about a guy who's comatose, but he has like telekinetic powers, and he uses them to kill people, to try and get to kill anybody that's like trying to take his nurse away from him because he's like in love with her. And next to it, also from Severin, is the Blu-ray release of Patrick Still Lives, the Italian unofficial sequel to Patrick, which is like the most wild, like needlessly sleazy, disturbing sequel to a horror film ever. Keep in mind it's unofficial sequel, but still the most disturbing, like sleazy, unofficial sequel ever. Really wild stuff. I bought this last year on the the Severin Black Friday sale because I really, really like this movie. I reviewed this one on my channel too. It's a wild one. We got The Thingy. This is a good one. Confessions of a Teenage Placenta. It is literally about a living placenta that, like, yeah, that's the movie. It's very gross and very bad and very weird, and I really like it. What else we got going on here? I see we got Werewolves on Wheels in there. We got Werewolf in the Girls' Dormitory. We got Vampirus Lesbos back there. That's a fun one. What we got going on up here? Forbidden Zone. That's a really fun one. Zat is amazing. I really love Zat. City of Lost Children is cool. Nightbreed is amazing. Lord of Illusions is amazing. Phantom of the Paradise is probably my favorite musical ever. Yeah, got Resolution. We got, I think this is, yeah, this is, Reality Bleed Through, the Jimmy Screamer-Claus film, which was limited to 100 copies, the DVD-R version. This is, like, the only way to get the film, but I bought it from him off his website, and he drew monsters on the discs, which I think is really fun. I think that's really cool. And then he included this little short film mixtape. I think it says Filthy Short Film Mixtape of Doom. I really like Jimmy Screamer Claus's work. I think he's a really interesting filmmaker, honestly. I have his Scuzzies poster up there, autographed by him. I also have the VHS of When Blackbirds Fly autographed right there. You know, I've got some shit going on. Where's that box? Okay, we got this box that's got some other stuff. Shape of Water, Silent Hill, Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, Waxwork. There's the other two Screamer Claus films, When Blackbirds Fly, Where the Dead Go to Die. Got Altered, Prometheus, the Alien movies. We got Attack of the Giant Blurry Finger, which I haven't watched yet. Critters. We got this release from Synapse of Deadly Spawn, which this is a really fun, low-budget, like, gory monster movie. From what I've heard, I remember hearing somewhere that Severin is actually working on a new Blu-ray release of this that's going to be like super duper restored or something. That's something I've heard, though. I don't know if that's true or not. Nothing else too amazing going on here. We got Mutilations. This is an out-of-print title from Massacre. It's a really fun one. I really like this one. Kind of weird alien invasion film. Trying to see if there's anything else really worth talking about. I don't think there's anything going on there. I think we're on to the last shelf. Keep in mind, this isn't like absolutely everything. There's some other titles. There's a bit of overflow in the other room, and as well as my VHS tapes in the other room. We got like Aliens. This is the nice like release of it they did a couple years ago. Annihilation. We got Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I really love. We got The Blob, The Brood. We got Brain Scan. I always really liked Brain Scan. Ever since my uncle showed it to me as a kid. I actually keep his picture in the case. Not to get sad or wholesome. He passed away in 2020. But that's a picture of him as a teenager. And I keep his oh god, I'm getting choked up now. I keep his picture in the case because this was a movie we watched together a lot. And we always really liked, and I've always really loved this movie ever since he showed it to me as a kid. We got Bad Taste, the limited edition version from fucking Anchor Bay. We got The Caller, starring Malcolm McDowell. This is a really wild kind of cat and mouse like home invasion thriller. It's got a weird like twist at the end that's just fucking wild. I really respect it though. I really respect the like audacity of the film. We got Evils of the Night. I really like this one. This is a weird space vampire film that's like a combination of like slasher film aesthetics with like 50s B-horror aesthetics and 80s sex comedy stuff going on. We got Hellmaster. This is another one. Really, really fun. Fucking low-budget horror film from the 90s. Here we go. We got Horror of Party Beach. I really love this movie. I've shown this movie to a bunch of people, and they all really agree that it's like a wild, fun, genuinely crazy little film. Only problem I have with it is there's like a really awful mammy stereotype character that believes that the monsters are like the result of voodoo, which is like a really unfortunate addition to what is otherwise a really amazing B-movie. We got Immortalizer. I remember when that got released. People were freaking out about that. Hobgoblins, also from Vinegar. This is an old release, but this is a really fun Gremlins ripoff. The McPherson tape. This is probably my favorite Agatha Bleeding Skull release, because I really like this movie. It's a shot on VHS, shot on video horror film, basically, that is like trying to be like the Blair Witch Project. And the thing about this film is that it was going to be called like UFO Abduction, and then the company that had the rights to it went under, and somebody found like rough cut VHS copies of the film that didn't have any credits, so they assumed that the film was real. And they thought that this was actual footage of an alien abduction occurring, which is really, really wild. But it's a genuinely creepy little film once you get past the fact that it's like super cheap. We got Matango attacking the Mushroom People. We got Robo War, The Suckling. We got another Norman J. Warren film, Prey. This is a really good one from him. We got Stalker. Fucking the fucking film Tarkovsky made, which resulted in his and everybody else's deaths. Fucking Christ. Under the Skin. I love this movie. Super. I actually finished the novel of this. Like just this week. Just this week I finished the novel of this, and the novel is really disturbing. We got Without Warning, that's out of print now. Battle Royale, Brazil. We're getting into like dystopian. This stuff is like dystopian films. Decoder, I showed that one to my friends recently. To my friend Chloe recently, she quite liked that one. Decoder is really cool. There's only like one major flaw with the film, and that's the fact that there's a scene where the main character like kills a frog by squeezing it to death, and it occurs on screen. It's a really unfortunate thing that happened, that they just felt the need to do. But other than that, this film was amazing. I love Decoder. Escape from New York, which I mainly grabbed. I'm not the biggest fan of Escape from New York. I think it's a great movie, honestly, but like I don't think it's like if you go your whole life without seeing it, I'm not gonna say you've necessarily missed out, but I still think it's a really, really great movie for what it is. But I mainly grabbed this because it was going out of print. We got Honky Holocaust. That's a whole other story. RoboCop, They Live, Turkey Shoot is really fun. Getting into animal attack movies. There's nothing really too crazy in the animal attack stuff. You got like Slugs, Wild Beasts is a really crazy exploitative one. Cruel Jaws, which I don't know what's going on with this, but this came out last year, and I bought it last year on the Black Friday sale because I always wanted to check out Cruel Jaws. And I was like, hey, this finally has a Blu-ray release. And last I checked, this isn't on the Severn Films website anymore. Like, you can't buy this anymore, which is like, which is a bit of a red flag, because that may mean that somebody blew the whistle on them, and this is never going to be released again. So I'm happy I got it when I did. We got Body Melt, getting to the body horror. Body Melt, really, really love Body Melt. This is a wild Australian body horror film, really great exploitation horror title. We got Existenz. I wish that would get a US Blu-ray. At least last I checked, it didn't have a US Blu-ray. No need to talk about Eraserhead or From Beyond or The Fly or Frankenhooker. This one I want to talk about, though. It's X-Stay, Hair Extensions, another Shion Sono film. This is like a weird, dark comedy that he made, because, like, when I think Shion Sono, I think, like, disturbing, weird movies, but I don't necessarily think, like, camp, which, this is about hair extensions that kill people, so this is, like, extremely campy for Shion Sono. But this is actually genuinely a pretty gruesome and kind of disturbing movie in some ways. But it's also kind of a parody of, like, J-horror. Not going to talk about the Hellraiser movies. Although I do want to talk about this one, because I got this for, like, dirt cheap at, like, a DVD sale. And I have no idea, like, what this is, where this came from. But this is, like, a release of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Which, that's not even from Hellraiser 3, that's from Hellraiser 2, but it's like a weird release, I think from, I don't know where it's from, it's region free though, and I can't find a country on here. See, it says like HK, like, on it a couple times. So I've been thinking this is like a Hong Kong release, but usually there'd be something else on it. And also the disc is like really weirdly textured. Like, if you could see that, the little dots, you can actually feel those. We got Johnny Got His Gun. This movie needs a Blu-ray release real bad. Again, last I checked, it didn't have a Blu-ray release. I'm not checking every day, but if there was a Blu-ray release, I would have known by now. But I did a video on this one. This is like one of my favorite depressing movies. I read the novel of this. The novel is absolutely devastating, and I will put the link to the review of this in the description below. God, I'm gonna have to have so many fucking links to put in. Naked Lunch, really great one. I really love Naked Lunch. One of my favorite Cronenberg films, one of my favorite pieces of literature. Spontaneous Combustion, I think this is a really great Tobe Hooper film, like unironically. The Thing, I saw this at the drive-in with my friends many years ago. It was freezing cold out. It was the best way to experience this film, and I'll never forget it. I even have the ticket from the drive-in in the case. I do that with movies that I've seen in theaters. We've got The Vineyard, which is directed by James Hong, and it stars him. I think this is like one of the only films he ever directed, but this is like a weird mishmash of like fucking like mysticism and like zombie films and like fucking eternal life serum movies and stuff. Like, this is a really wild one. Really fun though. Speaking of movies that need Blu-ray releases, The Worm Eaters. When the fuck is this getting a Blu-ray release, man? This is like an amazing... This movie is fucking amazing. I love The Worm Eaters. Herb Robin's The Worm Eaters is amazing. And I still have not seen a Blu-ray release, which is a huge shame. Excuse me while I do some foot cinematography in order to get this back on the shelf. Dolly Dearest from Vinegar is really nice. We got Puppet Master, which in the back we have a receipt for Cider Boys Strawberry Magic, some pop, and I think that's some chips. This is a receipt from, again, I'm getting sad here, but the day of my uncle's funeral, after his funeral, at 9 o'clock at night, I went and bought some alcohol, and yeah, I put it in the Puppet Master case, because that's another movie he showed me when I was a kid that I really liked, was Puppet Master. Again, I'm getting a little choked up here. Anthology films, nothing too crazy here. Asylum is a really great British one, but, you know, if you're a horror fan, you might know about that one. Oh, here we go. This one I think people might not know about is House of the Dead, I think it's from 78. It's a really underrated, really underrated anthology film that's basically the same thing as Tales from the Hood. Like, literal same setup. Some guy goes to a fucking, like, a funeral home for some reason, and the guy at the funeral home tells him stories about the corpses there. It's literally Tales from the Hood. No joke. But this came out in the 70s. Also, this isn't as good as Tales from the Hood, but it's still a really cool movie. Still really cool, still solidly creepy. This is a nice Vinegar Syndrome release, and I'm happy. It's another one of those releases where, like, it's of a relatively obscure movie, so the slipcover didn't go out of print, didn't, like, you know, disappear super fast. This one's limited to 1,500 for the slipcover, and I managed to grab it, like 2 years after it dropped, because nobody was buying it. So I actually got lucky on that one as well. We got Kwaidan, which I need to get the Blu-ray of, but this is a really great 3-hour-long Japanese horror anthology. Another horror anthology from Vinegar Syndrome I really love is Night Train to Terror. I've watched this with my friends a few times. We have movie nights on Discord, and actually the movie nights started when me and my friend Derek watched this film, Night Train to Terror, together. And since then, it's gone down in history, and we've watched it together a couple times since then, and invited other friends along. We got Scare Waves from Henrik Kuto. His is the Blu-ray edition, number 9 of 100. I really like Scare Waves. That's a fun one. We got Slimy Little Bastards from this is what is it? YouTuber Dave Parker, Mr. Parker. This is his directorial debut, at least as far as features go. This is a dumb, goofy little small monster comedy anthology. Very, very stupid, but very, very fun. We got the Tales of the Uncanny, which is the documentary, which comes with the 2 extra like bonus anthology films. This is a really great documentary on anthology horror, and this is the Black Friday version that comes with the Blu-ray of Edgar Allan Poe's Master of Horror, which is like supposedly like a super duper extra like rare movie that like nobody's really ever released, and then that was thought to be lost. We got The Burbs. This is my favorite. This is like my favorite Tom Hanks movie, unironically. This is a movie that my aunt showed me when I was a kid, and she actually also passed away in 2020 as well. No joke, 2 weeks after my uncle, who was her younger brother, and we used to watch it all the time, and that's why I have the ribbon here for it was for overdose awareness, and I keep it in the case because this was a movie that we both really liked and that she showed me. And this movie has always been a favorite of mine. I've always really liked this movie. And, I've always cherished it. Next to it, we got Crime Wave from Scream Factory. Or no, this is from Shout Factory. This is before Scream Factory. I really like this movie. There's a really great video about this film by In Praise of Shadows that you should check out. We got Dead Hooker in a Trunk. This is the Horror Pack exclusive limited edition Blu-ray. I really like the Solskjaer sisters' work, and Dead Hooker in a Trunk is like my favorite movie of theirs because it's like super grungy, low budget, awful bullshit. Yeah, that's Dead Hooker in a Trunk. And then we got like the trauma films here. Like I literally just keep a section right here for the trauma films. Class of Nukem High, Return to Nukem High. We got all the Toxic Avenger movies, all movies that I hold very dear to my heart. We got Heathers. This is a great dark comedy from the 80s. I think most people have probably seen Heathers at this point, but I just wanted to point it out. We got some of these double feature DVDs from Vinegar Syndrome. This one is Bloodthirst and the Thirsty Dead. This one's pretty good. Like, both of these movies kind of suck ass and are kind of boring, but they've got really great aesthetics and vibes. We got Death Force and Vampire Hookers. This was the first one of these that I bought, and these are both really interesting. Death Force is, like, about a dude who gets trained to be a samurai. It's, like, a weird, I think it's like a, after being left for dead, Doug is rescued by 2 Japanese soldiers living on a remote island who teach him the ways of the samurai. Yeah, it's literally a revenge, like, blaxploitation martial arts film. And then you have the Vampire Hookers, which has John Carradine in it, I'm pretty sure. And this one's just like a weird kind of vampire sex comedy about vampire hookers. You can't say no to that. We got a Jekyll and Hyde portfolio and a Clockwork Blue. Both of these are from the same director. I haven't seen a Clockwork Blue yet, but Jekyll and Hyde portfolio is like a pretty disturbing little nasty, sleazy kind of torture porn type movie. Oh, here's another really great one. The Executioner Part 2 and Frozen Scream. Frozen Scream is fucking amazing. I reviewed it on my channel. Link in the description. But The Executioner Part 2 is a really wild exploitation film. And then we have Crypt of the Living Dead and House of the Living Dead. I think I've seen both of these. I can't be too sure, though. So, we'll leave it at that. Let me get this other one back in here. We got the Boot Box. This is a collection of just random bootleg weird movies that I got from my bootleg guy. This one's got a ton of stuff in it. Most notably, there's one in here called Snot, which is a weird, like, gore splatter film from Norway, short film from 1993. And there's also, what is it? Pig Chicken Suicide from 1981, which is a really super transgressive, super disturbing, don't recommend it to most people, kind of art film. We got the Night of the Sorcerers and the Lorelei's Grasp. These are both from the director of the Blind Dead movies. The Night of the Sorcerers is kind of a sort of you know, it's a fun movie, but it's one of those movies where it's kind of sort of pretty racist, because it's like, hey, look at these fucking, you know, natives. They're performing a weird ritual. Isn't that crazy? Oh no, it causes something evil to happen. Isn't that crazy? It's that kind of horror, you know, racist. The Lorelei's Grasp, however, I remember both these movies being enjoyable, but Night of the Sorcerers, I haven't revisited it, but a friend of mine watched it and was like, dude, that movie is straight up some, like, really awful, like, almost cannibal film levels of racism. But the Lorelei's Grasp, I remember being a pretty fun movie about, like, a lake monster, or, like, a weird, scaly monster, like, ripping people's hearts out. Got TerrorVision and the video Dead. This is probably the best double feature Blu-ray Scream Factory ever put out, because the features are just it's stacked with features. Not that I give a shit about them, but it's cool to have them. And it's also got two just really great, like, horror comedies that just happen to both be about TV. Like, they lucked out on that one. Everything else in here is just kind of overflow. There's nothing really else here worth mentioning, except maybe this one, Carnival of Blood and The Undertaker and His Pals. Carnival of Blood is actually getting a nice Blu-ray release here soon with 2 other movies, which I'm really looking forward to that. But Carnival of Blood is a really fun, splattery, early 70s slasher film, and The Undertaker and His Pals is like Three Stooges meets Herschel Gordon Lewis, and it's from a one-time director, which is unfortunate because it's a really fun movie. It's super gory, super dumb. It's just a great time. I really love that movie. Oh, also over here, we got Blood Gnome, Satan's Little Helper, and Spliced. I haven't seen Spliced, but Blood Gnome is a weird movie about, like, a Cthulhu sex cult. It's with, like, weird little gnome monsters. It's really awful. And Satan's Little Helper is a really fun seasonal horror comedy about a kid who inadvertently helps a serial killer kill people on Halloween night, thinking it's just a game. It's actually a Jeff Lieberman film, and it's probably his funkiest movie. It's also, like, his most recent film, and it doesn't have a Blu-ray release, which is really unfortunate. But other than that, that's really it, guys. That is the whole fucking thing. That's the whole kit and caboodle for the most part. I mean, if you want to, like, really get into the nitty-gritty, there's, like, a whole stack right here going from this shelf all the way up of just, like, multi-pack movies that I have. That's just, like, big ass, that's just a ton of overflow right there. You know, I also have, like, The Fly box set right here. I've got, like, Feed the Light, and I've got a couple of Intervision titles right here that I haven't sorted yet. You know, I have tons and tons. I've got a lot of overflow, like even more overflow right here. We got Combat Shock, Dahmer vs. Gacy, Sanford Psycho, Beyond the Seventh Door. Like, it goes on and on and on, and it just kind of never fucking stops. So I think that's gonna be it for now, guys. But, you know, if you stuck around for this long, this has been like 2 hours of straight recording. This has been a hell of a thing to shoot. Yeah. I hope this tied you guys over while I'm doing a bit of a hiatus, because I'm kind of trying not to do too much right now ever since Hooptober. But I promise I'll be back eventually with some shit going on. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. This is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews signing off. Peace.